Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 170.
Hey.
I am Alex being interrupted by Addy. And that's Addy, who isn't going to say anything. There's
Yes.
also Pink, but he apparently has muted his mic because he just ran into something. I assume he's being given food, the lucky fucker.
If only.
Oh! Pink! What you got coming on your channel this week, man?
I don't know. I still haven't uploaded the first part of the last video that I said I was going to upload because I haven't recorded the second part yet, and I wanted to upload them on the same day, but I haven't.
Oh no, we lost him.
Flash it.
He's
All
back!
right, Pink. Are you alive?
Maybe. So, I had not gotten around to getting part 2 of that done, so that's been put on delay. So I'm hoping to get that done, and then those 2 videos will come out, and hopefully I'll get some other stuff done as well, since this week shouldn't be nearly as busy as this previous one, or at least I hope not. So, yeah, I would say look forward to 2 videos, potentially more, depending on how much I draw.
Alright! Eddie, what you got coming on your channel this week, man?
Well, for one, there is the second part of Ghost of Tsushima coming out. The first part is actually funny because like half of the first part of the actual first part is like a cutscene because I wanted to include some context for the story, so it's not just freaking random clips strewn together.
Okay?
But yeah, so that's coming out, the second part, and then also on Sunday, if I can be on schedule on Sunday, the first review I've written in like 2 years. Now it's only been a year, but still, I actually genuinely have not uploaded anything in like 265 days.
Alright. And that's about it?
Yeah.
Alright. On my own channel, I intended to record some Street Fighter 4 at some point this week, but I did not. But I did wind up recording Dead by Daylight with Mike. And it looks like, given that I just popped onto the forum and Mike just PM'd me saying, hey, want to play more Dead by Daylight? Looks like I'm going to have more videos of that coming out. So, I'll try to record Street Fighter. If anything pops up with Warhammer, which I don't think there will this week because we just got a free LC. But if something does pop up with Warhammer, I'll of course do some video about that. But yeah, probably just Dead by Daylight, maybe Street Fighter if I can get the time. And on the FOS channel, we have got coming out this week on Monday, March 22nd, Smite Part 2! Oh, it begins!
Yes.
Part
Smite
2
is
of
here.
which time was this?
This was when we came back to Smite recently, in the first session.
Aha.
Because part 1 was when we played with Wook.
Okay.
Wow, I am amazed we did not record prior to that.
Yeah, it's been a very long while.
Yeah.
On Friday, March 26th, FOS doesn't play Smite, Part 1. Because we played at the wrong time. And on Saturday, March 27th, FOS can't draw Bellsprout / Weepin' Bell. Because some of us got confused.
Just a small bit. And the best part is I watched back that session. And of course I watched it back, I edited the video, but you know.
Yeah.
But I watched that session, and I'm like, oh, Pink's drawing Weeping Bell. He's actually drawing Bellsprout, and I start drawing Victory Bell. Which is the same, like, all of those are in the same evolutionary line, but like, no. not the same Pokemon, no.
Alright. So, Pink, what you been doing this past week?
Alright, not a lot this past week. Yesterday, Falcon Winter Soldier, it's finally out. This is the one I've been waiting for. This is my Disney Plus subscription. Okay. So, as I said before, I didn't see. I almost said Scarlet Witch. WandaVision in chronological order. I saw a bunch of episodes out of order, and then the finale. And I enjoyed it. It was what it was. It wasn't anything spectacular in my opinion, but it was good. And then we jump over to Falcon and Winter Soldier, and this first episode is fantastic. It's not a lot happens, which is kind of odd because it's
You want to
it
start off
feels
with a
like the
bang to
first
get people's
part.
attention, right?
What's that?
I said you want to start off with a bang to get people's attention, right?
Yeah, very much so. So I get into a little bit of spoiler territory, but not anything story wise. It does start off with an action sequence that kind of establishes Falcon as, a big time hero in a way. And then also sets up what Bucky's storyline is going through this. Because it doesn't start off as a buddy cop movie or anything. These are two completely different storylines that are going off in their own directions at the start. And eventually well, obviously we'll see those stories intertwine. But
It'd be
this
funny if
first
they didn't.
episode, yeah, we just wanted to do two movies going along the same parallel timeline, just on entirely different continents or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. So yeah, a lot of establishing, not moments, a lot of establishing stories in this first episode. And I don't remember the runtime. I've been told that the episodes are longer than WandaVision's were, and I think that's accurate because they've got fewer episodes than WandaVision. So,
Okay.
yeah, I want to say it was 9 episodes for WandaVision and only 6 for Falcon and Winter Soldier. With, I think that they were saying Falcon's episodes are an hour long and WandaVision's are only 45 minutes. So not a big time discrepancy there. But you also have to take into account that a lot of that is end credits. So
Yeah.
WandaVision felt like 30 minutes of television and then 10 minutes of end credits. So yeah. Um, they've not established a villain, the primary villain yet in this first
Oh,
episode. So
I heard.
that's actually an interesting take.
I heard that the end of the first episode revealed the villain.
No, the end of the first episode reveals something else entirely different.
Oh, so he's not the villain?
There are multiple. Well, there are at least 2 he's that you could be talking about, and one of them is not. So
Huh.
we all going forward know that Zemo is going to be the big bad, right?
Yeah, because they put him in all the ads.
Yes. I've not watched any of the trailers or anything, so I'm not certain what's been unveiled. But I did see screenshots, so I'm assuming everybody knows that. So Zemo is not established at all in this first episode. He's not seen from, he's not heard of, he's not mentioned.
All right.
It's yeah. The primary antagonist, we'll say, of the first episode is just a renegade terrorist group, the Flag Smashers, which
Oh,
is the name of a character, but it's a terrorist organization in this miniseries.
that's quite a pull, honestly.
I was pumped to hear it. I was like, oh yeah, we're going deep in the archives now.
Yeah, that's actually. I don't imagine they're going to be going for some other Captain America villains from that period, though, like Man-Hater.
No, probably not. Or the Fantastic Four villain, that was Hate Monger, right?
Yeah, the one that's literally just Hitler in a KKK hood.
Yep.
I honestly, that'd be awesome if they did that. Like, just keep going. Just keep throwing more random hate groups on him. Like, figure out some way to also fit him into the Aryan Brotherhood, even though the Aryan Brotherhood are already Nazis. Anyways, what else have you got to say about it?
I
Pink?
think his internet might have died.
Oh, no!
Pink?
Lord is being a real pain in the butt today, and I don't like it. So, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie are excellent actors. They both have boundless charisma, and they absolutely knock all their scenes out of the park. There has never been a minute where I've been bored with it. It moves very fast despite its runtime, but it doesn't ever feel like you're being dragged along with it. So, pacing is excellent. The acting is excellent. Um, Story so far, it's only going to continue to evolve, and I don't think I'm ready for the emotions that they're going to throw at me. But okay,
Alright.
I've got high hopes for this series. I think it's shaping up to be one of their best, and I'm only one episode in, so yes, it's
Okay.
excellent. I recommend it.
Huh. That's high praise.
Yeah, I think it's well deserved though.
Alright, I guess we'll see, yeah. Anything else?
Anything else? I don't know because I've played a bit of Smite this week. I've had a lot of fun with Jormungandr, so I've not been building tanky because I've been told that it's basically attack guardians this season, or at least that's what Soon's been saying. So I've been grabbing Chronos Pendant and Rod of Tahurti with Jormungandr, and it's been working out pretty well. I've won like 90% of all my matches with him, so I'd say it's been working very well.
Well,
Alright.
I don't know if attack guardians are necessary, but Jormungandr definitely isn't tuned for actually being like a proper tank guardian right now, from what I gather.
Uh-huh.
He's more
It's
about the
like,
cycle culture. Oh, no, wait, no, I'm mixing him
yeah.
with Cthulhu because both of them die immediately. But yeah, that point, the point still stands though. Jormungandr dies very fast.
In the early game, sure. I've been fortunate to where I'm building damaging items at the start of the game and getting some decent utility out of them and getting some early kills. So then I can bulk up, and I would say by mid to late game, I'm usually pretty untouchable.
Ah,
I I think my highest kill count in my past 10 games has been, or not kill count, death count in my past 10 games has been 3 at most. So I I can't say because I'm probably a much lower level than most people, but I've been having no issues with tanky Jormungandr. I can actually
Alright.
open up my Switch right now and check my stats real quick because I
Can I
need to
just
log in and grab my free renown anyway.
can I just say every time someone mentions the Rod of Tahuti or Rod of Tahurti, like I now just hear Rod of Tahiti or Thor.
Rod of
You gotta
Tahiti.
buy me the Rod of Tahiti, Arthur. I need more money.
I need more mangoes.
I
How am
like
I gonna be
mangoes.
able? Yeah, make Dutch like Ratatosk. He gets a unique item for the mangoes.
But he can have different types of mangoes, and it applies different debuffs.
Yeah.
And not even to the enemy team, to himself. It applies debuffs to him.
Except for one mango, which is labeled Micah's mango, and that applies debuffs to Dutch's teammates.
Yes. It reduces every teammate's health to 1 in a radius of 30 meters.
Arthur's mango, you just start coughing a lot for some reason.
Yeah. Dutch Wonderland sucks.
Eh. Man, I forgot that like he's the one that actually chooses to save Sadie in the starting mission. I thought it was Arthur that tried to decided to save Sadie, but no.
Oh yeah,
That's probably the only good thing Dutch does in the entire story.
yeah. I heard someone's fan canon that Dutch, like in the train robbery, Dutch falls on his head or something, so he gets a concussion and just that alters his personality to be shit. I
I don't
mean,
know that would work that way because Arthur gets countless concussions over the course of that game.
yeah,
I forgot that one of the earliest missions, Arthur gets thrown through a fucking window.
sure, why not?
Like that should fucking kill him with the glass cuts.
It's fine. It's a western. It's okay. Glass doesn't hurt
Yeah.
him.
Glass was
Yeah.
different back in the late 1800s.
Yeah, it wasn't built to kill people. Now all windows are deliberately
No.
built as death traps.
Yeah, you know, world population has gone up significantly since then. So, you know, we had to take some extra measures to make sure we don't get too overbloated on this planet, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Just for convenience sake.
back then, Windows weren't bulletproof yet, so they didn't have the rigidity to actually stab someone in the spine.
Yeah.
Right. So my quote unquote worst game with Jormungandr, I went 5, 4, and 23.
Oh, all right. I don't want to look up my worst game. 0 and 14. Oh.
Oh. I don't know. That's me whenever I'm relied upon to play the hard carry hunter. It's like, nope, they cannot compete.
Boy, Pink's internet is not like in Discord today.
No, it's not.
Discord that's not like in Discord.
Ah, that's even better.
Yeah. There's nothing I can do about that one.
All
yeah.
right. Anything else to say about Smite, Pink? Smuts.
Nope. No. Like Jormungandr, that was a big thing for this week. Nothing else though regarding Smite. Nothing else that I did on my Switch. I don't believe. Let me double check everything real quick. Yeah, that was it.
All right. So, anything else that wasn't Smite?
Anything else that wasn't Smite?
Yeah, I mean there are things that exist outside of Smite. Did you know that?
That's true. Oh, you know what? I went to the beach the other day.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I heard
it
those were
was
replaced
kind
by
of
large
cold.
brick walls.
What?
I heard beaches were replaced by large brick walls to stop the corona.
Maybe in some occasions. Yeah, definitely. No. Yeah, the beach was open. I mean, you're supposed to be socially responsible and keep safe distances, and I don't know, wear a mask if you're up close trying to hug somebody or something. I don't know why you get close to anybody though. People suck. I want to keep as much distance between me and them as I can. So, the beach was excellent. I had not been in well over a year because I didn't go the year before Corona, couldn't go during Corona. I actually got to go this year, and it was fantastic. It was very therapeutic. I don't know why, but my shoulders had been killing me for the past week or so. Then I went to the beach and threw rocks all day long, and then I thought, oh, I'm gonna be really friggin' sore tomorrow. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, wow, I don't feel anything.
Your
That just took all my pain away. What the heck? That was magical.
your shoulders were hurting from carrying all of your coworkers.
Exactly. I'm carrying the whole company on my shoulders. Good lord. Oh.
You say you're not good at the hard carry, and then you do that.
I'm not the hard carrying gaming, but in life, I mean, yeah, I'm basically top dog.
Eh. All right. Anything else? Well, I guess there was your birthday, wasn't there?
Yeah, that happened yesterday. I did nothing for my birthday. Let's see. No, that was when I watched Falcon Winter Soldier. I had cake, I had ice cream, and then
Cool.
I went to bed early so I could go to work early, so I could come home early because I didn't want to arrive to the podcast late, which I did anyway because Discord wouldn't start up.
Yay! Crazy how this shit happens, man.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you did get my gifts, right?
I have not. I did get an email that I got gifts. I have not logged into Steam today. Let me
Okay.
actually do that now.
So my burden
And
is
thank
not
you,
yet
by the
lifted.
way. Your burden is not lifted yet. Where is Steam at? There you
I
are.
am still bound by this curse.
W bought you 5 copies of Getting Over With It with Bennett 40.
Oh yeah. If
Getting
Steam
over
would
it? I
let
don't know
me,
what that meme is.
if Steam would let me, I'd just buy him 5 copies of Sonic Adventure 2.
Not even the game, the soundtrack.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah,
I
Crush
wouldn't get
40.
him that because that'd actually be a good gift.
I don't
No,
know,
I'd get
Pink,
him the
do you
game
like Crush
itself.
40?
Crash 40's not bad. Crash 40's the best part of those games.
I mean, yeah, you're like the licensed soundtrack is always the best part of the Sonic games. Like even Sonic and the Lost Rings has a really high freaking intro theme. So
Wait,
I'm not saying Crush 40 is bad.
is it Crash 40 or Crush 40?
It's Crush.
Crush 40, okay, Crush 40. Yeah, just Sonic Adventure 2. What else can we throw in there? Showering with Your Dad Simulator, that's another classic meme one to get.
Yes.
What's the really shitty game where it's, you have to, like, get rats through a series of traps?
Red Rats.
Bad Rats. Yes, Bad Rats, that's another one. I don't know if they still sell Ride to Hell Retribution.
You might pick all of the different releases of Honey Pop.
Yeah.
Oh
Kane
no,
and Lynch.
even better, Nekopara.
I don't know what that is.
It's a the cat girl maid dating simulator, I think. I don't know.
Oh, for God's sakes.
PlayStation keeps recommending it to me because freaking Google figured out that I'm a furry. And like, well, once one company figures it out, then everyone knows because they just sell that shit immediately.
It has begun.
Yeah.
They're just trading your personal info. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
hey, Eddie's doing something new this week. Quick, everyone, get on it. Get those
Yeah.
advertisements out. We got
As
money
we-
to make.
As we all know, Addy has money to burn.
Yeah.
Whew, alright. So that's the extent of what you did this week, Pink?
Yes, it is. And I just opened up Steam and got a bunch of pop-up notifications telling me, hey, idiot, you got gifts. Open them. So I was like, okay, cool.
Here you go, fucker. Take this.
It's no use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what he says when I send him copies of Bad Rats.
No, that's what he says when you send him copies of Sonic 06. There's a fair remake. There's a fair remake of that in the works. Fans are trying to freaking restore the. I forget what it was, but there was a demo that was released that's actually a newer build than the one that's on disc. They're trying to.
What?
Yeah, that happened. There was an E3 demo, I think, where the build was newer than the one that's on disc, and it worked better.
That's fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's how rushed the production was of that game.
Jesus Christ.
And so fans are trying to restore that demo from the release version, and then trying to patch it around so it can actually be played by people.
I'd rather they keep some of the bugs, honestly. I'd love for them to.
Yeah.
I'd love for them to keep the bug where Knuckles gets stuck on everything. That'd be great.
Yeah, and the flying, the flying with the spin ring.
Yeah. All right. So, Pink, you got your gifts?
Yes, I did.
Then, Atty, what you been up to this past week, boyo?
Well, I haven't done a whole lot. I spent a lot of time marathoning Ghost of Tsushima so that I can actually finish it on time for the freaking for a thing I'm working on
Okay.
for finishing the series that I'm recording for the second channel, I guess. But yeah, I like last week I was like, oh, I figured out that I can only record for an hour, and then immediately after that, like literally the next day, I went and recorded 4.5 hours because I had to speedrun the story missions to get to Kamiyagata.
Ah, yeah, okay. I see.
That was fun. And today, just today, I think I stopped 5 minutes before we started the podcast. I I ran through and did all of the all of the fox shrines because I refused to finish the game without the wolf mask, and you get the wolf mask for finishing the fox shrines, all of them.
The fox shrines are the most annoying part of the game, honestly.
No, no, they're not.
What
The
what what
freaking
would you say?
I'd say the freaking whatchamacallit. Well, it's the haiku spots and the freaking some of the hidden unlockables being just like the head coverings, like those two together. But I don't know, those count as the same thing to me because they're worthless. Like the fox shrines at least give a good enough reward for actually putting in the effort, and the other two don't.
The bandanas are a shit reward, but they're way easier to get to. You just climb to the top of the pagodas.
That's it with some of them, yeah, but the haikus they take too long, in my opinion. Like the
I
fox
like the
shrines,
haikus.
I liked making the haikus, but it took too long and the reward was shit, so I didn't want to do them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like it was a good thing, but I wasn't incentivized enough to actually do it. Whereas with the foxes, it was tedious, and there was way too many of them. But you know, the reward at the end of it was a very overpowered charm and a fox and a wolf mask.
All
And like
right.
obviously the second, I only like the second one because I have biases. But like shit,
Yeah.
like still the overpowered charm is really good.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you if we have anything else.
Let's see if I have anything in particular about Ghost of Tsushima. I don't think so. Oh, I think I did notice that if you Yoshi your horse enough, that it starts having angry idle animations.
If you what your horse?
Yoshi. If
Oh,
Beat it on the back of the head?
well, in Ghost of Tsushima, Pink, there's these really big jumps that the horse can still take, but it will fall if you do them. And you can negate the fall damage from yourself if you jump off of the horse's back while it's falling. So
I like it.
so you can Yoshi the horses. Or at least that's what I call Yoshiing the horses. And if you Yoshi your horse enough, it seems like it gets angry idle animations where it tries to get to Trojin off, which is funny.
I like it.
Pink enjoys animal cruelty.
I mean, look, this is a game. This is a game where I can drop kick my horse on a freaking 30 feet drop, and then also blow a dog up with a freaking hand grenade. So
Oh,
Jesus Christ. I mean, you have to do a lot of dog killing in that game. That is absolutely true.
you don't necessarily have to do a lot of dog killing, but you have to kill a lot of animals. Yes, although I usually farm bears.
Oh, right, bears, right. I forgot about bear
Yeah.
hunting. Yeah.
Yeah, hunting bears with the Inari charm makes it so you can upgrade shit pretty fast.
Yeah, I would imagine so, yeah.
But yeah, so that I did play a bit of Smite as well. I picked up Kronos again.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
How did you feel about Kronos? Because when I played Kronos that one time, he was a blast to play.
I've made the Kronos once, so that's how I felt about it. I mean, Kronos is literally like Kronos is literally just an auto attack hunter, but he's a mage, and that's
Yeah.
about it. Like that's it.
Yeah, but it's fun having to get used to like the schedule, like trying to time his little clock
Oh yeah,
ability, right?
yeah,
Like it's fun getting good at that.
yeah. I would have had more fun if the people I got matched up with were usually like not completely fresh.
Eh.
Well, it's not just the issue isn't just that usually the people I get matched up are fresh, but also that it was usually just one other guy, and so like I can't hard carry in the early game because I'm a hunter. That's not my job. And it's
Yeah.
not even a think of that's not my job. I can't do that job because I'm a
No.
hunter.
Yep.
And then once we get to late game, I can actually try and carry, but then the bot teammates could start feeding.
Yep.
So yeah, there were some rough games I've had recently. And usually, like, if I can hard carry, like, because there are games where I can hard carry despite being a hunter. Like, if I can hard carry, that's when I actually start playing against people because that means that I can usually play good enough. And
Yeah.
if I feed against the bots, then well, why should I freaking be in the queue? But usually this week has been the mostly just like making really stupid decisions. So I just didn't bother with playing against people.
Sometimes you gotta come back to the character looking at him from a different perspective, because
Yeah.
that's very much how I was with Bakasura. I couldn't tell you what I used to build with Bakasura, but I think when I first started playing Smite back in like 2015, I built Bakasura with nothing but lifesteal.
Ah,
Yeah, it
I mean,
didn't work.
those things necessary, but maybe not that much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, usually when I mess up, I can notice what the thing that I messed up is, which is really like this week it's been mostly just I overextend and then don't leave myself open so I can run away.
Yeah, overextending when you're a hunter is pretty bad because you do get so powerful. You're like, motherfucker, I can take on the entire enemy team. Oh no, I can't.
Yeah, and then with Kronos it's double bad because with the other hunters I play, Uller and Danzaburo can run away. Sometimes, usually not. Okay, if there's three people around him, then he's probably dead. But sometimes he can run away. Uller has a jump. It's mostly
Yeah.
safe. Like Uller is the one who can run away the most. Kronos has no freaking dash or any way to run away. I mean, he has a boost on his 2, but if you popped it and it's on cooldown, then you're shit out of luck. And then
Yeah.
there's his ult, but it has so much sword that you just get killed usually.
And, yeah, and he can pop that little HP 3 thing on his HP 4. Which one is it? Whatever, health regen. He can pop health regen on his little clock thing, but that's not going to immediately help you.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. Anything else outside of Smite?
Not really, no. I mean that my birthday's coming up and my family's still talking about, what to get and shit like that. Although they've mostly accepted that there's nothing we can afford. So
Yeah.
hey. So sometimes I'm tempted to just say like, hey, let's save up for a Switch, because I look at Smash and I'm like, I could play Wolf O'Donnell, and there's also Lucario and Fernando if he doesn't work out. But then, like, it would be so freaking much work to just work around Nintendo's stupid bullshit because of PA or whatever, the Nintendo Internet service not being here.
Yep.
Right.
Nintendo is definitely out of the 3 big console publishers the worst one.
Feels like it. But yeah, go ahead.
Really, all they can claim is that they generally shoot for having quality games, but even that, they're not really that far ahead anymore. Sony and Microsoft are both pretty good about that themselves now. So
Yeah, and I mean, for a personal thing, like most of their IPs just don't really interest me that much because, like, freaking Zelda, I've never liked. Metroid is not my thing either.
Yeah.
Mario, like Mario to me is the same thing. Like, oh freaking what? There was a comparison I was going to make with this, but I forget what. But basically, Mario to me is like a constant. Mario will never go away. Mario will be here once I'm gone. Mario is on freaking immortal. That's the word. Mario is immortal. That's
Yep.
actually kind of why I like Sonic better, because Sonic falls. Sonic eats shit a lot. But Sonic is funny when he eats shit a lot. You can laugh, you can point at him and you can laugh. Mario is usually mediocre. Like, that's to me like the big difference between the two is that like Mario is a constant quality. Like Mario is usually not that bad when he gets bad. But you know that means that when he's good, he's also not that much good, or that much better, I guess, than usual. Is the better wording. Sonic, most of Sonic's games suck ass. Like they're not really fun to play. But at least you can point and laugh.
I don't necessarily know that I agree with the logic, but I guess I can see like where you would be more sympathetic to Sonic, just because like Sonic is more. I think. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking here because I don't think I have an actual point to make.
All right. But yeah.
I have not eaten yet, so I am not thinking properly.
I
But
had
yeah.
cake for breakfast. That was pretty rad.
Now, I'm gonna say the same thing to you that you say to me every time I mention my breakfast. Breakfast of champions.
My birthday is going to be depressing by most people's standards because I don't even like cake. So
Oh,
I'm not
what?
gonna have any. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, one of the great things about being a typical eater is that I don't choose what I eat. If my body tells me what I can eat, and then that's the only thing I can. And I haven't liked cake in 10 years.
Oh man.
More.
Speaking of Addie's birthday, what do we want to do for Addie's birthday this coming week, and when do we want to do it?
I'm not sure. I had a couple of ideas, but most of them are bad.
Ha!
Like it doesn't help that my PS Plus is also running out, so that limits things even more. Not even just because of like playing together, but also like that basically halves my library on the PlayStation. But yeah. I guess we'll discuss it after the podcast.
Yeah, all right.
Why did I say it so weird? Podcast. What the fuck?
Well, what you know what we could do is I could just go ahead and give you your birthday money, and you could pick up Terraria, and we could do that.
Sure. We could see if I actually get the money, or if it can't be transferred, or if it's a separate wallet and there's regional shit going on. Like Microsoft's been doing that. That you can redeem other countries' currency, but it's in a separate wallet, and you need to switch the marketplace. I don't know how you would even do that on Steam.
Weird.
Yeah,
Worth a shot, though.
I suppose so.
All right. And, yeah, I guess is that all you done this week, then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, now for what I've done on my week, and warning, it's going to be a bit of a long one, because something fairly big happened this week.
Oh.
I'll start off with what I've done on PC, which... Oh, I want to ask, Pink, have you made any progress in Hades?
I've not played Hades this week.
Okay, and the other thing I want to ask, because I forgot to ask you last week, have you run into the friendly NPC in Elysium again, and gotten his name?
I have not. I've been to Elysium at least once since we talked on the podcast prior where we mentioned it, but I have not come across him again.
Huh, alright. I am still really excited to see what you think of that. I actually guessed correctly who he was ahead of time. Who do you think he is?
I think it's Jesus.
Ah, yes, it's Jesus Christ, as we all know. Legendary
Kratos-
Greek warrior, Jesus Christ.
Kratos did get the speed of Longinus.
Yeah.
We have to somehow tie it together.
I don't know. Patroclus?
All right, I'm interested then in how your reaction is to who he actually is.
Okay.
Patroclus does definitely come up as part of a plot line, yeah. By the way, on my own end, I kept giving, I've got everyone's charms now except for one mysterious NPC who I have not run into yet, and I don't know who they are. There's just a missing entry in my little list of people, and I've not found him, and evidently he has the last keepsake, because I've not got him yet, and I've still got a missing keepsake, so not sure what.
Oh.
Maybe he's like a friendly NPC in the Temple of Styx, but I've been to the Temple of Styx like 4 or 5 times now. I'd assume I'd have run to him on one of those runs.
You would think.
It's weird.
Interesting.
But since I got everyone's keepsakes, I've just started dumping nectar onto poor Achilles. And a little bit onto Nyx, but mostly onto Achilles. And I was actually kind of surprised by where that took it a little bit. I'm also really, I think I'm getting to where the end is in sight for Achilles' little side thing, so I'm interested to see how that goes down. Other things I did on PC this week, I soon directed me to a Humble Bundle for Stellaris. It was a copy of Stellaris and a whole shitload of DLC for Stellaris for $15. So I went ahead and grabbed it, even though every time I've gotten into Stellaris, I've been like, wow, there's a whole lot of things I don't understand going on here. And yeah, so I reinstalled it after picking up all that DLC, started up the game, got to the main menu, and I was like, wait a second. If I want to get into this game, I'm going to have to devote a lot of time to like learning this stuff. I've already got a lot on my plate. This should probably wait until later. And then I closed the game. And the last thing I did on PC this week was I finally was able to get together a time to play Dead by Daylight with Mike. And he is absolutely delighted with that game. He loves it. Mike hates playing online, right? He doesn't play online because he doesn't trust people.
Yeah.
But after about 3 hours of playing with him, I had to drop out because the battery ran out on my wireless earbuds again. Whoopsie. And he kept playing for another couple hours, and he was so happy that he just went ahead and sent me a PM overnight, like, hey, want to play again today? So I guess we're playing again today.
All right, nice.
That game is a lot of fun. I'm not used to playing Survivor. I've watched plenty of videos of people playing Survivor in that game, but I am much more used to playing Killer. However, the game will not let you play Killer opposite to a Survivor who's in your party, so I have to play Survivor if I'm going to play with Mike and play online.
Ah.
And you have to play online with random pubbies, because we don't have a group of 5 people, we have a group of 2 people. And 1v1ing in Dead by Daylight, well, you guys have seen what happens when you 2v1 in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Just a small bit of a slaughter.
I don't know. I feel like we got away at least once out of the 3 rounds.
I think so, yeah. But the what was I going to say? Right. But yeah, the playing online with people, like, thankfully we've actually not run into any assholes yet, which is good. And
that's cool.
The nice thing is with Dead by Daylight, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead. The game trains you to not be an asshole. Because if you just leave your teammates to die, then that's really bad for you.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, oh shit, we've got one less person. That is like a quarter of time added on to every generator. That is way less likelihood that I'll get saved if the killer puts me on a hook. And so on, right? And like a lot of it that you underrate is just how valuable it is to have other teammates that the killer can get distracted and go after them instead of you.
Yeah.
Because there were several times playing last night with Mike where my bacon got saved. Not because I made any good, elaborate maneuver, but just because the killer saw someone else while they were going after me and got distracted and ran off. I gotta say, we ran into mostly a bunch of really good killer players, though. It was brutal. It was very brutal.
Ooh.
We ran into a very good Michael Myers. So Michael Myers' whole thing is he has a meter. Michael Myers was pretty much the first character they implemented who had a complex subsystem like a fighting game character. Michael Myers is a BlazBlue character who at launch was introduced into a cast of Street Fighter characters. You feel me, Addy?
Ah,
Uh-huh.
yes. It's Yorakune.
Not quite, but he's definitely like in the periphery of like characters like Izanami, you know?
Yes. So can feel the whole screen with that.
I was meaning more so like changing stances, but yeah.
Okay, I confused Izanami and freaking 9.
Yeah, there is a character who can fill the screen with shit, but it's not Michael. So the default cast of Dead by Daylight that the game launched with is like a killer who can put down bear traps, a killer who can run with a chainsaw, a killer who can turn invisible. Then Michael Myers was the first one they introduced. Like Michael Myers has a specific vision meter. He starts out he has 3 stages. He starts out at stage 1. Well, on stage 1, Michael is at his slowest and deals the least damage, but he cannot be heard, and he also like it moves like it's a whole fucking thing. And he goes up in stages, and once he's at his top stage, he moves as fast as possible. You can hear him from the other side of the fucking map, and he instant kills you with a single swing.
Oh.
And he builds up that meter because he's Michael Myers. If you guys know anything about the Halloween movies, which honestly I assume you guys don't.
I've seen the Rob Zombie movie. That was shit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I've not seen any of the movies, but I know of the premise.
So Michael spends a lot of time in those movies just staring at people from the bushes like a creep. So Michael builds up meter by standing still and staring at the survivors. Which, super fucking creepy, by the way. You don't quite get used to it. But I figured, like, oh, when I run into a Michael player, like, oh, he's going to stare at me a lot. Okay, so that means throughout the early game, I'm probably going to be safe to just, do whatever, because Michael's going to be focused on staring at people, right?
Right.
Like, in under 2 fucking minutes, Michael gets his meter fully up, and it's great, because Michael just goes berserk, sprinting across the map, and he switches from holding his knife, like, overhand to holding his knife underhand and raising it, like, on the classic Halloween poster, right?
Yeah.
And he's just going berserk, and he gets me. He gets one of the other guys. He gets another guy. He only misses Mike, and just kills all of us with a single stab, each of us, leaving us all on the ground, and then just going around and picking us up, putting it in, just taking out the trash. And it must have been great for Mike, because Mike entirely new to the game. By the way, I gave him a little like just test session of 1v1 where I obviously like didn't actually play hardball against him at all, and introduced him to pretty much every mechanic I could think of. But yeah, we get into an actual game, and he just sits in the bushes and watches as Michael goes nuts and slaughters the rest of his team. And it's actually playing the Halloween music when he's doing it, too. The little piano theme.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
I wonder if as Pyramid Head you need to rape the mannequins to get more damage.
That would be funny, but no, Pyramid Head's a really interesting one as well. Because ordinarily the killers are much, much faster than the survivors, but that doesn't really work for Pyramid Head, because you remember in Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2, he's fucking slow.
I mean, it depends. Are we talking like big, have scissors in the Pyramid Head, or like a spear?
That's true, you're absolutely right. The spear Pyramid Head is a lot faster. But it's the Great Knife Pyramid Head, so it's the one that's supposed to be slow.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I think I actually read that the designer guy for Silent Hill, or the guy who has Pyramid Head as his picture, he posted. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. I was just gonna say the guy's name.
Okay, but yeah, he posted a tweet that said that actually the great knife that you pick up in Silent Hill 2 is not actually Pyramid Head knife. It's the second half, and it's actually a big scissor. I don't get it either.
Weird.
But apparently that's how it was designed.
Huh, okay, that's actually interesting to hear.
Yeah.
He's good. He's a good source for all kinds of random bits of Silent Hill lore you wouldn't be able to pick up otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look up his name right now while I've pulled up my Twitter and I'm trying to look it up because I'm following him on Twitter and he's always a good source for this kind of thing. I'm trying to remember, there was another interesting bit of lore he revealed a while ago, but I don't remember exactly what it was. Oh, I passed him. Okay. He must have been one of the first guys I followed on Twitter. Damn. Let's see. I must... Masahiro Ito. Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
him.
that's what his name was, but I wasn't for certain. What else? Right. So, yeah, Dead by Daylight's a lot of fun. Oh my god. I'm glad I got it all on recording, by the way. Because there's a particular bit where one of the... So you guys remember the Dead by Daylight default stages, right? Where it's pretty well always just a misty field with lots of obstacles in it.
I mean, I also remember that one neighborhood.
Yeah, the neighborhood. The neighborhood was one of the first times they added a stage that had a unique design like that. They've kept going. And they added, for instance, they added the lab from Stranger Things. I've not got to play in that one, but it looks cool. And they added Midwich Elementary School from Silent Hill 1. And the instant the game loaded us into that level, Mike pretty well just came on the spot. And I have it on recording. I'll have to get the timestamp and send it to you guys because that might actually be a good one for the. I might want to go ahead and just get the timestamps for that one and the Michael Myers slaughter because those are probably both good ones for the year-end compilation.
Yeah.
I love how they handled Silent Hill because the Silent Hill DLC they added Midwich Elementary School as a map from Silent Hill 1. They added Pyramid Head as a killer from Silent Hill 2, and they added Cheryl Mason as a survivor from Silent Hill 3. So they actually did a good job of like implementing all three of the really beloved Silent Hills into the game. It's really cool. I like when they spread the love like that and don't just give all the love to like one game, you know?
Yeah. When you can load in, don't worry. It's not the game's fault. You're actually just stuck in the room.
Yeah. Man, could you imagine if just like that could happen with just about any game? Like you load in and you load into the wrong place. It's the fucking room from Silent Hill 4.
You need to crawl through the creepy hole to start trying to load the game again.
Yeah, you got to do it soon though, or else like the babies are gonna start coming out of the walls.
Yeah, the wall is slowly replaced by eyes.
Yeah.
And then people's ghosts fly through the wall, calling you an asshole.
Yeah.
And all of this is canon to Silent Hill 4, Pink.
Yeah.
I love making any of this up.
I love how there's one part in Silent Hill 4 where the ghost of the previous occupant in the room is like just horrifying to look at and obviously tormented, pulls himself through the wall, and then gives you advice on how to beat the villain. You know.
Why not?
Casual stuff.
He's coming over from hell and he's like, "Oh god, it burns! Anyways, gather the 3 photos to defeat the boss."
You must get rid of the 8 pages to stop Slenderman.
Pretty well, yeah.
I'll be right so.
Oh man.
There has to be a The Room mod for Silent Hill 4. Right?
I don't know. There's definitely the joke has definitely been made at some point. It would have to be. Yeah. Alternatively, mix in the other Room movie starring Brie Larson, which I think was
Go ahead.
Which I think was actually the movie that got Brie Larson her Oscar. And also, I think happens to be a movie where a serial killer traps Brie Larson in a room.
Is that the one where the kid escapes at the end?
I don't know. I don't know the ending. All I know is I think Brie Larson gets trapped by like a serial killer, serial rapist in a room. And of course he rapes her and she gets pregnant with this kid. And then she gets her and the kid.
That's the movie I saw.
Ah, okay.
Because we did watch a movie called The Room in media class in high school.
Okay, so you've seen all 3 variants of The Room.
Yes, I have. No, actually, I haven't because I haven't watched Tommy My Showroom in its full extent yet. I've seen most of the movie through clips, but I've never actually bought it.
You've collected the 3 pieces of Room. You will now be haunted by Walter Sullivan and Tommy Wiseau. And also Cheese Thief, I guess. Her hidden demonic form, Cheese Thief. Oh man, I feel bad for her in that regard. That's gotta be like, it's not immediately a stupid name when you hear about it, but it's the fact that when you think about it, her name is Cheese Thief that makes you feel bad for her.
I don't know. It's a pretty cool name, all things considered.
I'd like to see that as her superhero name instead of Captain Marvel. She's
No, that's a super villain. That's a super villain name. That's for when they do the Captain Hydra storyline.
She's the secret part. She's the secret partner in crime of the Hamburglar.
Yes.
All right, so that's the extent of what I've played on PS5.
Captain Marvel steals the cheese straight out from the cow.
No! Shut up! Anyways, I finally, after much trials and tribulations, got a PS5.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Sony's store is the way to do it. Every other store, it's first come, first serve, which means the scalpers are obviously first come. Whereas Sony, it's just they put you into a queue, random for everyone. It is a pure act of God whether or not you get a PS5. Sony looks at its customer base and just says, "Jesus, take the wheel."
Also, their policy regarding the Japanese studios.
Yeah. So for like 15 straight times, me going onto the Sony store, I got put in the back of the queue. But I finally got put in the front of the queue, and I got the PS5. And I gotta say, it's fucking fantastic. So pretty much everything that was said about it, true. For one thing, it definitely has a
Wi-Fi router.
What, Addy?
It's a Wi-Fi router.
Yes. You gotta tell that to your Japanese wife so she doesn't get angry.
No, not Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, it routes your wives, you know.
Yeah. it makes my waifu come real.
No. Anyways, so yeah, it's got a lot more hard drive space than the PS4. I can tell you that because I have Red Dead Redemption 2 installed on it and actual other games as well.
Oh my goodness! What sorcery?
Oh man, you could probably put GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 all on the console at once.
Actually,
nothing else, but
let's fun no.
Nothing else.
The Activision has confirmed that you can't have Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Blackout at the same time on a PS5.
Oh my fucking god. Hang on, there's like 800 gigs of free space on the PS5. How many gigs do Black Ops 4 and Blackout take up?
I don't know, but it's mostly Blackout.
All of them.
What the fuck? Is Black Ops 4 like 600 gigs?
No, I think Black Ops 4 is like 40 to like 150, and then Blackout is 700.
How? That wouldn't fit on the PS4.
Well, what you see, it's different versions of Blackout because Blackout on the PS4 wouldn't have like 4K textures and shit like that.
Oh,
But
for God's
the
sake.
PS5 version would.
I bet it's not even like proper quality at 4K textures. They just stretched them.
No, I'm pretty sure it's just that their compression is shitty. Or well, it's not that their compression is shitty, it's that they just don't compress shit.
Of course, I was actually just talking to my dad about this the other day, about how Rockstar and Activision get to be lazy because people just buy their games no matter what. Like, that is still the most absurd thing to me, that someone was able to cut the Grand Theft Auto 5 load time down to a quarter or a third with, like, a really simple coding fix.
Yeah. And then now they're implementing.
Credit where credit is due, yeah, to Rockstar for not taking the Capcom route. They actually just shelled out $1,000 to the dude and was like, okay, now make it official.
Yeah.
Alright, so, the other things about the PS5. The loading times, fucking absurd. So, okay,
Ooh.
I only have 2 proper PS5 games right now. Astro's Playroom, which comes with it for free. Astro's Playroom, I have not seen a single loading screen. It just,
Oh,
it just goes straight into it. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition is the other PS5 game I have got, and that one, it's a PS4 game, just updated to be a PS5 game, but, yeah, so it still technically has loading screens because, you know, it's a PS4 game updated to PS5, so you gotta keep those. But, yeah, I need to go into the options menu and change it to just instantly. Like, okay, so Devil May Cry 5 ordinarily has where you have to press X when a loading screen is finished loading. Because on PS4, loading screens in Devil May Cry 5 took about like a minute to 2 minutes. Wouldn't you say, Addy?
Yeah.
They were pretty beefy loading times. So generally speaking, it was good to set that on so that you would could just walk away while it's loading and then come back and press X to actually load into the game, right?
Yeah.
Devil May Cry Special Edition, turn that off. Because every single time I've started loading a level in Devil May Cry 5, I hit the button to start loading, I put the controller down, and as soon as I'm done putting the controller down, I look up and the loading is done.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, for PS5 games proper, loading screens seem to be a thing of the past, which is something. The PS4 games, because they weren't actually built for SSDs, don't have, like, instant loading screens, but they've got pretty fucking quick ones. Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4, how long would you say that game took to load, Addy? Because for me, it was like
Are we
3 to
talking-
5 minutes.
Are we talking initial load or like after that death loads?
Initial load.
Initial load. Somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes.
Ooh, it never got that bad for me, I gotta say. For me, it was like 3 to 5 minutes. But yeah, Red Dead 2's loading times were fucking egregious. But, you know what they are on PS5?
What?
Somewhere in the space of 10 to 20 seconds.
Nice.
very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you try out Ghost yet? Because Ghost has instant loading screens on PS4.
Yes, because they actually updated it for PS5. Because Sucker Punch, unlike Rockstar, isn't lazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's another thing. Yeah, the 4K. So, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima looks absolutely gorgeous in 4K. As soon as I am done with Red Dead 2, I want to start a new game plus of Ghost. Red Dead 2 also looks gorgeous in 4K. Dark Souls 3 looks gorgeous in 4K. I will say with Dark Souls 3, there's just a fundamental problem with the art style, because they deliberately made everything brown in Dark Souls 3 to make it look like it's dying, and I am not fond of that. But it looks a lot better in 4K than it did in, like, whatever the maximum HD was on PS4 vanilla, launch PS4s, which is what I had.
1080p.
Yeah. Every single game looks visually better, except Bloodborne, really. I don't know what FromSoft was thinking when they made Bloodborne, honestly. They weren't accounting for the future, that's for certain. Because the frame rate is still capped at 30. Every other PS4 game I have run on PS5, perfect 60 frames. I could not, for the life of me, get perfect 60 frames consistently in Red Dead 2 on PS4. Just perfect 60 frames consistently on PS5. Same for Dark Souls 3. Like, FromSoft is notorious for their herky-jerky frame rates in certain areas. Dark Souls 3, perfect 60 frames. But Bloodborne, it's forcibly capped at 30 frames per second. Which, when you go over from other games that are running at 60 frames per second pretty well universally, it shows, you know?
Yeah.
And it's still kind of trying to go up to 4K on Bloodborne, but I don't know why FromSoft did this, but they seem to like cap the resolution at a certain point as well to try and implement a sort of dreamlike feel, because Bloodborne's supposed to feel like you're in a dream. I will say overall, PS5 emulating Bloodborne is better than PS4 running it, just because of load times. Because load times in Bloodborne on PS4 were like 30 minutes to not 30 minutes, God, no. I wouldn't play the game. 30 seconds 30 seconds to a minute. Whereas load times for PS5 Bloodborne is pretty well just about instant. Which is really helpful because Bloodborne doesn't do things like bonfires in Dark Souls. Anytime you want to refresh your health, go shopping and all that, you gotta teleport all the way back to the dream. Which, yeah, this makes it a lot easier. Other than that, let's see. Let me just look over what I have put a bit of time into in PS5. So, oh yeah, a classic tradition for me. One of the first things I installed, Dead Rising 1. A game that's 16 years old. No, 15 years old now, coming up on 16. And I just was like, fuck it. I'm going to play this almost kind of ancient game from 2006 in 4K, 60 frames per second, instant loading times. And yeah, that's probably the best way to play Dead Rising yet. It is, I don't know, that game is still fun for me, even though it's ancient. Like, I'm still amazed by how robust the physics system is in Dead Rising 1. Because what I did to just stick around and, like, look at how the game looks on PS5 was I ran to the, hardware store in the mall, the one in Sunset Plaza, and I just went and started taking propane tanks off the walls and chucking them at zombies. And Dead Rising 1, like, most video games, generally speaking, when you leave a physics object in the world like that, it goes away if you run away from it, right?
Yeah.
Or, like, the game will have a system, in effect, that detects how many physics objects there are and starts getting rid of some as more start popping in. Dead Rising 1 doesn't have that. So, the propane tanks just started stacking up, man. And it was great, because I was just flinging propane tanks at zombies and building a massive pile. Oh, God, I love that game. Yeah, along similar lines of dicking around with old games, I also installed the PS4 kind of pseudo remasters of Twisted Metal Black and War of the Monsters. I gotta say, like, a lot of the PS2 games, like, there's a hard contrast with PS2 games. Some PS2 games just did not age well graphically at all, and some aged amazingly. Anyone else notice that?
Yeah.
Because there are just some
we have looked at Tekken 5 recently.
Yeah, Tekken 5 looks fantastic. Twisted Metal Black came out in 2001, and it still looks great. And just like some PS2 games, though, you look at textures, and it's just like a potato, and it's like, what the fuck? Okay.
God of War 1.
Yeah.
Potatoes. The protagonist, potatoes.
That's fucking dumb.
For some reason.
Like, the thing is that they totally would have made potatoes an alternate costume in one of those games.
Yeah.
Pink, have you seen the unlockable alternate costumes from the first 3 God of War games?
I have not.
They are amazing. So in God of War 1, I think one was a chef of war, where Kratos was dressed like a French chef, and the Blades of Chaos were replaced by butcher knives.
Excellent.
One was like a God of Prophets or something, and Kratos wore a business suit, and the Blades of Chaos were replaced by briefcases. And what was the other one? Oh, COD of War. COD of War. COD, COD. Where Kratos wears this big, ridiculous fish suit with his head poking out the mouth. And he swings fishes at people.
I love it.
Oh, man. I wish they would have kept that going for God of War PS4, but I understand why they didn't, you know?
Yeah.
No, they should have brought back the COD of War outfit, but only for Atreus. All right. What else did I? Let's see. Just looking over some of the games. Obviously, there's not going to be much improvement. Like, I reinstalled under Uniclear, and yeah, that game's sprite based, so it's not going to see a huge improvement.
Yeah. Did you reinstall Lizard?
I did.
That could be improved.
I did reinstall it, but I didn't put too much time into it because I went into the trial mode and I saw one of the trials and I was like, oh, you know what, never mind. But yes, I didn't pay too much attention to the visuals, honestly, because I was just trying to get a feel for Exart again because it's been so long since I played it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I do need to go back and look at that one again. I think I uninstalled it. Yeah, I uninstalled it because I ran out of space because I was installing so many old PS4 games. But yes, I need to give that one another shot because I would imagine that game looks amazing in 4K. Let's see, what else was there? Reinstalled Batman Arkham Knight. That game's campaign is still trash, but that game's trial mode is still a lot of fun. Just playing through these trials on various maps and how it's different challenges for each of the 8 characters. And you'll play the same map over with Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, Harley Quinn, and it's different for all of them. And they all play so differently, except for Azrael, who is just a copy and paste of Batman with worse skills.
Yeah, Azrael, who should have been a skill you can play as in the freaking campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say they had one. I remember when I played Azrael just for a little bit, I forgot about one nice attention to detail they had with Azrael, which is Batman has the little explosive paste he can put down, right?
Yeah.
And when he does it, he makes the symbol of the bat out of the paste, right?
Yeah.
For Azrael, he instead makes a crucifix.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch. I like that a lot. Sometimes they forget Azrael's supposed to be a crazy religious nut job. Pink, you read the complete Nightfall storyline, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did they include Azrael's religious aspect in that when he became Asbats?
Not really. I want to say as Batman, that was all kind of pushed to the back burner. It's only ever in his Azrael getup that they kind of go all in with that. And I think even now, or actually they might be going all in on that nowadays, but I want to say in the early to mid 2000s, I feel like that was dropped, but I could be very wrong on that because I wasn't as up to date back then as I was with the previous years.
Yeah. Which, I mean, for Asbats, it makes sense because for him, they want to emphasize less the religious aspect and more kind of the idea of parodying the idea of a Batman that kills, you know?
Yeah.
Evil Within 2 on PS5 is a massive improvement. Because on PS4, that game does not look great. You can tell it's capped to a resolution lower than 1080. Because the game, a PS4 vanilla can't handle Evil Within 2. And the frame rate itself is also locked to like 30. So yeah, moving that one up to PS5, where it goes on 4K 60 frames per second, massive improvement. And other than that, I've not got to take a spin with God of War 4 yet, but I'm excited for that. So I guess that's the extent of the games Oh, Hitman 2 is another one. Hitman 2 also did not look great on PS4. I played it and had a lot of fun with it anyways, just through the Paris level. But on PS5, yeah, it looks great in proper 4K resolution and everything. I will say, when I did take a little spin with Hitman 2, I am rusty as fuck at that game. It has been 2 years since I seriously tried to play that game. I don't remember jack shit about how to get through the Paris level. And I gotta say, that was a painful feeling, because I was like, fuck, I remember, I used to be good enough at this Paris level that I could get in and assassinate both of the targets without changing into any disguises. And now, I have no idea how I got past that starting area without putting on a disguise. Hitman is a stealth game where it's like you flip a switch. Like, when you first start every level, you are just like, whoa, what the fuck? How do I solve this? This is impossible. And then you start to see the pieces, and you're like, oh, okay, everything actually fits together perfectly.
Yeah.
So the 2 games that I did put a decent bit of time into, 3 games that I do want to talk about on PS5 that I put a decent bit of time into. Astro's Playroom is fantastic. How many consoles have actually come with free titles at launch?
That is an excellent question that I don't know the answer to because I've never gotten a console at launch.
There's a couple, but not too many, and it depends on like whether or not you count like bundled games as free.
Yeah,
Ooh.
because the only one that I can think of was a Wii and their Wii Sports title that everyone has.
Yeah, because I can only think of Wii Sports as well. I could have swore like the PS1 or something had one, but I could be wrong. So if the only competition is Wii Sports, I gotta say, Astro's Playroom, best in class. It it is a really fun platformer that shows off a lot of the features, shows off all the features really of the PS5 brilliantly.
Did you find Pyramid Head yet?
I have not run into Pyramid Head yet, but I did run into I did run into Jin Sakai, which was really cool.
Yeah.
You see him in the actual ghost armor with his katana, and I don't remember what he's doing, but you see that. I've run into a good couple, yeah.
Pyramid Head's on the highway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went through the PS1 area first, and I wrapped that one up, so I'm gonna run through the others later. I love the way it introduces all the features, because before you start the actual game, it just goes through and basically shows you every PS5 controller feature, like, hey, we've made vibration actually not suck. Hey, resistant triggers. Hey, the touchscreen is still there. There's probably still not gonna be any games that use it, but it's there.
I mean, Okami used it. It wasn't great, but Okami used it.
That's true. Well, I mean, if there's any game you'd want to use it, Okami is one of the logical ones.
Yeah.
And it's a really cutesy, fun platformer with a lot of heart and soul. I like it a lot. Let's see. Other than that, of course, Red Dead Redemption 2, I am getting back into. Game is still a lot of fun. I am still pissed about Red Dead Online being a fucking joke. I hear it's actually got a dedicated community now, which makes me curious, because I can't imagine the whales have stuck around this long, right? Because whales are...
I think they would be the dedicated community, because usually it depends on how Rockstar pulled off the gacha shit. But if they pulled off the gacha shit, then the dedicated community is the whales.
Yeah, I guess so. But I would think a lot of those guys would just go back to GTA 5 within a month, honestly.
That's probably accurate.
So for the single player, which is the real game of Red Dead 2, if we're all being perfectly honest, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm doing a lot better now that I'm ignoring legendary animal hunting, because that's what I have that problem in free roam games where I just get stuck with focusing on a certain category of side mission and just do that. And it ruins a lot of free roam games for me. Because it ruined Spider-Man PS4 for me, because I just got focused on collecting backpacks and doing Harry Osborn's little save the environment missions. Ruined Yakuza 0 for me, because I just started focusing on sub-stories. And what ruined Red Dead 2 for me was Red Dead Online being such a disappointing launch. But the other thing that hurt me was that I got so dedicated to just going after legendary animals. And chasing down perfect pelts, which, chasing down legendary animals is fun. Trying to get the 3-star pelts for animals, that sucks on ice. Because you can never know whether or not the game's going to deign to actually spawn them.
Yeah.
Now
by the way, that
no,
interests
go ahead.
me. Sorry for cutting you off, but that interests me. What was your first free roam game? Because it might explain why we approach them differently.
Bully.
Ah.
Bully didn't have a whole lot of side missions, honestly.
Yeah, mine was Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, so I'm trained to not give a shit about side missions.
Yep, Brotherhood is one of the ones where you just ignore the side missions. I tried to start paying attention to the side missions at Assassin's Creed 2, but it was just a waste of time.
Yeah, you don't really pay attention to the side missions in Assassin's Creed. Overall, I mean, you don't pay attention to the side missions when they're side missions, and then they stop being side missions. The game just tries to present them as such.
Yeah.
In RPG Creed.
Yep. I mean, with AC3, I love doing the sailing missions, but I'm pretty sure you weren't fond of them.
No, I hate sailing overall.
Yeah.
The homestead missions were nice if you actually want Connor to have a character.
Yeah. What else do I want to say about Red Dead 2? Red Dead 2, the attention to detail is always nuts in that game. And sometimes the attention to detail goes too far. I don't like having to brush the horse. Which, brushing the horse would be fine if the horse didn't get dirty every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh. The I will say I love the amount of dialogue Arthur has in this game. It's always one of the best parts. There's of course the one where you run into the guy who's trying to fix his horse's horseshoe. And I walked up to the guy and I instinctively pressed the greet button. And as I was pressing it, I was like, "Oh shit. You doing that kills that guy, doesn't it?" And I was immediately met with, "Yes, it does." Because the guy gets distracted, the horse kicks him in the head and kills him. And immediately upon that happening, Arthur goes, "Oh shit!" And as if on command, Arthur's horse took a shit.
Nice.
And it was a comedy of things occurring in perfect sequence. Yeah. I want to note something I didn't notice on my first time through Red Dead 2, or at least through my first time through the first half of Red Dead 2, was I did not know that there are unique antagonize options Arthur can take if he starts off nice to the person. I did not know Arthur can set somebody up with a greet and then follow it up with an antagonize, and it's a unique antagonize. Like, one, I don't know why, but I just felt like being a dick to Abigail. Like, I ran into Abigail, and she was drinking coffee, and I started off with greet, and Arthur says, "I know you love a good cup of coffee." And, Abigail's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And I followed it up with an antagonize, and Arthur says, "It's just about as bitter as you are." I don't know. I just love that you can do that stupid shit in this game. Like, especially when you just walk through town and you just keep antagonizing people.
Yeah.
Antagonizing is fun.
Yeah, I wish more games just had a fuck you button.
Absolutely.
If
You know
you
how
walk,
in that Spider-Man game, The Amazing Spider-Man, where you couldn't punch people, but if you hit the combat button next to a pedestrian, he'd wave?
Yeah.
Give me a button where I can walk up to people and just flip them off.
Yeah. I mean, does it count that one Spider-Man game where you could play as Venom and eat people?
Ooh.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted.
Sorry for cutting you off again, but like speaking of Spider-Man and freaking and antagonizing people, like they should patch it in so if all antagonizes enough people walking through town, that he just starts doing the dance, like just pointing at people and then dancing.
He needs to be suitably drunk beforehand.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to note with Red Dead 2 is I'm going through things with a bit of a different perspective for Uncle now. Because the first time I played through Red Dead 2's first half, I forgot the rather common lore theory that may be true. They keep implying it and also not implying it. That Uncle is Red from Red Dead Revolver. Because that kind of means that Uncle's probably the biggest badass in camp. Bigger than Arthur. He's just a lazy fucker. Like, did you ever even get, like, a hint of that in your playthrough of Red Dead 2, Addy?
I never played Red Dead Revolver, so wouldn't have picked up on it.
But, like, the implication that Uncle might actually, like, not just be a shit.
I didn't get the implication because I wasn't paying too much attention to Uncle or the story past a certain point, honestly.
That's fair.
There's only so much tahini I can take.
I do appreciate the little bits around camp. I'm running into an entirely different set of random dialogues between camp members on this run than I did last time, which I think is really cool. Rockstar made a lot of those, because, hey, crunch. Ooh. Anyways, for a game that probably didn't have crunch, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. So, it looks great. I'm actually surprised by how consistent the frame rate is when you turn on ray tracing. The game looks gorgeous in ray tracing. The game looks great without ray tracing, but it looks even better with ray tracing. And the big selling feature for Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, playable Virgil. And Virgil feels amazing in Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. He's pretty well got the same moveset he did from 4, but with a lot more stuff, which surprised me. I figured they were kind of figured they were just gonna port over Virgil directly. They most certainly did not. He's got a whole lot of new stuff. One thing I do want to note that kind of makes him feel like he invalidates Nero. So you remember from Devil May Cry 5 that Nero had the table hopper, right? Where if you dodged if you dodged at just the right time before an enemy hit you, Nero would do kind of like a little instant, like shadowy slide dash, almost like Slayer does in Guilty Gear, right?
Yeah.
But only if you perfectly time it as an opponent's about to hit you. Yeah, Virgil can just table hopper no matter what. Just freely. Like, okay, how it works is he's got simultaneously, he has Dante's trick. If you use Dante's trickster style, which in Pink, obviously you didn't get to because you didn't get that far, but you remember trickster style with Dante, Addy?
Yes.
So
It is
Virgil's
the one I
got...
use the most.
Yeah, Virgil gets that. It's a little worse, but he covers way less distance, but he picks up a little buff. If you perfectly time it right as an enemy is about to hit you when you trick as Virgil, it restores a little bit of health, which is weird. The other thing is, if Virgil does the little side roll, the little side roll in Devil May Cry 5, all the Devil May Cries, where if you lock onto an enemy, press sideways and then press the jump button, your character will do a side roll instead.
Yeah.
For Virgil, if you follow up an attack immediately with a side roll, he instead does the table hopper. Just instantly.
Oh, nice.
Which means that as Virgil, if you stay on the ground, there's a lot of times where you're just going to be mixing table hoppers into combos seamlessly, which is really cool. The other thing I want to say about Virgil... Oh, well, of course, like, a lot of the stuff they added is just, like, neat stuff. Like, some of the stuff is, like, stuff he only could do while he was in Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry 4, but now he can do them regularly. Like, Trick Down. In Devil May Cry 4, if Virgil wanted to teleport from the air to the ground, he had to be in Devil Trigger. Which, that move is actually really strong, but still it didn't feel appropriate to have it be exclusive to Devil Trigger. And they agreed, apparently, because now Virgil can just do it at any time. Which makes sense, because I think Dante got Trick Down back in 5 as well, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to say is, Virgil just plays through the entire game by himself. Which, for one thing, is really funny, because it means all the sequences where you're supposed to be fighting alongside someone, no one shows up. So Virgil's just by himself. And they even went to the extent of having the Nico van just spawn without her. So Virgil just goes up to this empty van and buys things from nobody?
He kills them. He picks the shit out and then leaves the money on the counter.
Yeah. He's playing by honor rules,
Yeah.
And what else was there that I wanted to say about Virgil? Oh, yes, because he is playing through everyone's levels, sometimes things are a bit weird. Playing through the V levels as a character who is not V is fucking surreal. Because, for one thing, all of the encounters go by a lot quicker, because the enemies were designed to be being attacked by pretty well 3 enemies at once that are all 3 players at once. They're all relatively weak. That is not Virgil. There is one Virgil, and he is very, very strong.
I mean, there can be 2 Virgils, but he'll still be very strong.
That is absolutely true. I have not quite gotten the hang of Doppelganger yet. Right now, I just spend most of my DT meter on other things, which Virgil has a lot of ways to spend DT meter in this game. It's kind of ridiculous. He's got the Doppelganger, he can put it into Sin Devil Trigger, he can use the Summon Swords. It's crazy. But either which way, yeah, the V bosses, do you remember the first 2 bosses V has to fight, Eddie?
I think so.
The Nidhogg and the Knight. Yeah, both of those boss fights are super fucking weird for Virgil. Because he can just teleport up to the Nidhogg's face and just punch him while ignoring his little tentacles that V has to take out.
Nice.
Yeah, that's weird. Thankfully, the developers were smart enough to make it where the Nidhogg, if you beat on his face a little too much, he recedes his face until you take down the tentacles, which is smart. But still weird you can do that. I also gotta say, like, the Nidhogg is actually quite a bit harder when you're close to him. Like, when you're playing against him as V, it's fairly easy to fight the Nidhogg because, you know, all of his attacks are distanced, but they also have obvious startup. When you're right up in his face, though, it's a lot harder to see his attacks coming. And fighting the Knight as Virgil is just bizarre, because V obviously has way better range tools for him to chase after the Knight, because the Knight is just running around constantly. But as Virgil, it's a pain in the ass, because that Knight just keeps running away from you. But nonetheless, a lot of fun. And I believe that's pretty well the extent of what I did this week. So, I think we can call that a podcast. Do you guys think we can call that a podcast?
Yep.
I think so.
Bye.
We'll see you later.